Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the next lesson. We're going to go ahead and get started. Remember, at any time, feel free to pause the video or go back to the previous lesson if you're confused. This lesson, we're actually going to focus on putting letters together. We're going to see the different ways that these letters are written down. It can be a little confusing at times. I'm going to do my best to make it as clear as possible. A couple of rules before we start. Arabic is actually a language that goes from right to left. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to read each one of these boxes twice. First time, we'll read it slowly, letter by letter. Second time, we'll put it all together. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is pretty simple. Alif. Okay. The second one looks a little bit intimidating. That's two letters put together. It's hard to explain, but this is actually a lam and an alif that's attached to it. Wow, that looks horrible. Again. So this is actually lam alif. Okay, and so the next one is also a lam alif, ba alif, ba alif, lam alif, lam alif, lam, lam alif, lam alif. So now here comes the first stacked box. That means that the letters are stacked on top of each other. And typically, whenever you have letters like this, you want to read the letter that's on top first. Okay? So some people may say that, oh, this must be an alif. In fact, it is actually lam. And the way that you know that is alif, you see how these letters connect, right? Alif actually never connects afterward. Okay, so whenever you have an alif at the end of a word, it will never connect to the letter afterward. So in this case, it's on top. This letter is connecting, so that is an indicator that that letter is actually lam. Okay, so once again, this is a lam. Jim, lam jim, lam alif, ba lam ba, ba lam ba. Again, remember this middle piece right here is not alif, because you can see that there's a connector here. If that connector was not there, then we'd know that's an alif. However, because it does connect, it is in fact lam. Let's move on. Kaf, kaf. They're both kaf, right? Just a slight variation. So now the next one actually looks a bit bizarre. If you look closely, this letter right here is just this little symbol, just bigger. So this right here tells us that's actually the letter kaf. Okay, so this is kaf ba, kaf ba, kaf ta, kaf ta, kaf alif, kaf alif. You notice with this kaf, they just made it a bit wider. Okay, kaf lam, ba kaf ta, ba kaf ta, ta kaf tha, ta kaf tha. Okay, fantastic. Here we go. So now we're going to see a lot of letters that we're already pretty familiar with. So let's just say them quickly. Ba, ta, tha, noon. Okay. Now this next one right here is ya. And now you may notice that the dots are missing. Whenever ya is missing, it's dots. It's actually called alif maqsura. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to go into too much detail for our purposes. We're just going to call that ya. Okay? Just call it ya. So basically what we're seeing here is that these letters right here are now going to be the focus for the next couple of lines. Okay, so here we go. Ba alif, noon alif, ta alif, ta alif. Now here's this little thing with two dots below it. That's actually the letter ya. Okay, so remember, anything with two dots below it, that is the letter ya. So this is ya alif, tha alif, ba sin, ya sin. Okay, now pay attention to these next two, three. Okay, noon sad, ta ta, bod. Notice how my mouth is opening wide for the open letter, but remember, bod is one of those rounded letters, so pay attention to my mouth. Ta, bod. Okay, ta, bod. Here we go. Tha, to, tha, to. Again, my mouth goes from open to closed. Moving on. Here's another stacked box. We're going to read the letter on top first. Tha, jim, tha, jim. Ta, ha, ta, ha. Cool, cool. Let us scroll up. Let's go to the next page. So this first one right here looks a little bit bizarre. I'm just going to tell you right now, I have not run into something like this in the Quran before, but there's many different scripts, so who knows. For our purposes, this is actually ta, ha, ta, ha. This next one, again, looks a little bit bizarre, but this right here is a ya, because again, there's two dots below that little line, and then this is ha. So ya, ha, ya, ha. Ba, jim, ba, jim. Ya, mim, ya, mim. Ba, mim, ba, mim. This meme right here is just a longer version of this. They just add like a little tail to it. Okay. Noon, mim, noon, mim. Ta, mim, ta, mim. Tha, mim, tha, mim. Ba, ya, ba, ya. So again, this looks a little bit strange, but the fact that the dot is down here and not up here is what tells me that this is the letter ba. Okay, so moving on. This is ya, 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 ya. Noon, ya, noon, ya. Ta, ya, ta, ya. Tha, ya, tha, ya. Noon, ba, lam, noon, ba, lam. So some people might be asking, well, why is this a noon? Isn't that the letter dhal? Two things to say about that. One, the print in this book is actually a little bit off. This letter should be connected to ba. Okay, but the print is a little bit off. We just kind of have to use our imaginations here. And the reason why that's important is because the letter dhal actually does not connect afterward either. Remember we talked about alif, it doesn't connect afterward. Dhal does not connect afterward. So the fact that this letter is connecting tells us that this is the letter noon. Okay. Moving on. Ba noon lam, ba noon lam. Ta noon lam, ta noon lam. Ya ta lam, ya ta lam. Ya tha lam, ya tha lam. Noon ba noon, noon ba noon. Ba noon noon, ba noon noon. Ta ya noon, ta ya noon. Ya tha noon, ya tha noon. Ba tha noon, ba tha noon. Cool. Let's clean this up and let's scroll over. Almost there, people. Almost there. Just bear with me a little bit. So the next bit of this is actually going to focus on these three: jim, ha, and kha. We're going to see some variations of jim, ha, and kha. Okay, so this right here is actually ha. Okay, all they did was, if you look at this one right here, all they did was they just kind of got rid of this little tail right here, right? And you get that shape. Okay, so let's clean that up. Here we go. So again, ha, tha, kha, ba. Again, watch my mouth. Ba. Jim, ta. Now, this one's a little tricky, but we got this. Ta, ha, ta. Notice how my mouth stayed open the entire time. Ta, ha, ta. Okay, moving on to the next line. Ya, jim, ba. Ya, jim, ba. Ba, kha, ta. Ba, kha, ta. Fantastic. All right, so now we reach this right here. Okay, this letter right here is officially called ta marbuta. But again, we're not going to go into any long detail about it. For our purposes, we are just going to call this ta. Why are we calling it ta? Because there are two dots on top. Okay, ta, as you notice, has two dots on top. So for our purposes, this letter will be considered ta. Okay, and this is the letter ha. So you notice the difference. All they did was they added these two dots. When the two dots are there, it's a ta. When you remove the two dots, you get the letter ha. Okay, so here we go. This is ba ta, ya ha, ya ha. So pay attention. This is a form of ha. This is a form of ha. They are both ha. Here we go. Ta ta, ta ta, noon ha, noon ha. This right here is also ha. Okay, so you see that this is ha and this is ha. It's just another form of it. Okay, this is the next one is ya ha ba, ya ha ba. So you're starting to see that there's actually a lot of forms of ha. There's actually 5 forms of ha. The book only shows us 4 for now, but again, let's just keep on going. Ba ha alif, ba ha alif, ba ha mim, ba ha mim, dal, dal. Okay, so the next few letters are going to focus on dal and dal. Here we go. Jim dal, jim dal, kha dal, kha dal. Okay, again, watch my mouth. Kha dal. This is ra and za, and this is also ra. So ra and ra. They are just different versions of the same letter. Okay, so we're just gonna have to get used to seeing it that way. Again, hopefully the more you practice, the more you'll start to recognize it. Here we go. Jim ra, kha za, kha za. Again, there's that mouth movement, kha za. Okay. Ya ra, ta za, sin shin. Okay. Shin lam, sin lam, Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and scroll this up just a little bit. Okay, so remember that sod, bod, ta, and la. These are 4 of those rounded letters. Okay, so remember that when we say these letters, our mouth has to turn into a circle. Okay, so watch my mouth carefully. Sa ba, ta ba, bod alif, va alif. Here we go. Ain, ghain. Okay, so now we're going to see the variations of ain and ghain. Up here you see this ain and jim. Ain, jim. Okay, so a big question is, how is this ain? Why is that ain? Why is it not down here hamza? Okay, that's because hamza, we're going to get to it later, hamza is actually really itty bitty and it's usually on top of an alif, waw, or ya. Okay, so if you see this symbol and it's really big instead like this, that's how you know it is the letter ain. Okay, so let's clean up. So again, ain jim, ghain ha, ba ain. This is a very bizarre looking ain, but it does show up in the Quran, so make sure you get used to it. Okay, ya ghain, ba ain dal, So if you look at this ain right here, all they did was they took this ain, they chopped off its tail, and they stuck it right there. Okay, moving on. Ta ghain dal, fa qaf waw. So now we're going to use these letters. Qaf lam, Again, qaf is one of those rounded letters, so we're going to say qaf lam. Fa waw, qaf waw. Noon qaf ra, Ya fa ra, ya fa, fa ya ha, Mim noon ha, mim nun ha, ta mim ta, ta mim ta. Now this is Hamza, okay? So Hamza is always exclusively sitting on top of another letter. Typically it's gonna be alif, waw, or ya, okay? So Hamza will always be on top of something. You'll never just see a little Hamza by itself. It's always gonna have a seat, as my teacher used to call it. So here we go. So this is Hamza. This is Hamza alif, Hamza waw, Hamza ya. Okay, just a quick reminder, remember that we always read the letter on top before the letter on the bottom. So now we go to the last one of the lesson. So let's go through it. This is Sin, Hamza. Remember, Hamza is always on top of something. This long line is Lam, Mim, Noon, Alif. It's a little bit hard to see, but Sin, Hamza, Lam, Mim, Noon, Alif. Okay, not sure why they threw that in there, probably to throw people off, and that's it. It was pretty tedious, pretty long. Again, you can go back and review this page as many times as you want. That does practically wrap up the lesson on recognizing the letters and how they connect with each other and the different ways they may look. Getting used to this lesson is crucial. Do not move on to the next lesson until you have this one down. If you don't have this one down and you move on, you're in for a rough time. Before you move on, you should be very familiar with all the letters of the alphabet. You should be familiar with the way that they look. Again, if you're able to recognize all these pages very simply, you're able to just go through it and recognize it, that's plenty. You don't need to sit down and write it down. You don't need to write each letter 100 times. Just go through it, read it, probably replay this video several times over and over again. Allah, hopefully you found this video beneficial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will get back to them, insha'Allah ta'ala, at my earliest convenience. That's the end of lesson 2. Next up will be lesson 3. We're actually going to start incorporating vowels. I will see you guys at that next video, insha'Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.